Thank you very much. Honourable Vice-Chancellors and colleagues from NSOU and UU, it is a great pleasure to be with you. As you have heard, I'm speaking to you from my home in Vancouver, Canada, where it is approaching 6 o'clock in the morning. I have very good memories of my visits to NSOU and the privilege of receiving the honorary degree from your university that the Vice-Chancellor has mentioned. That was the time when Surabi Banerjee was your Vice-Chancellor. And I'm very pleased to hear that Netaji Subhas Open University continues to thrive and be a leader among India's open universities. And I expect that one reason for your success is that you engage in professional development sessions like the one that is finishing today. I've been involved with open universities for over 50 years, so I am a veteran of distance learning. In 1972, as you heard, I spent 6 months as an unpaid intern at the British Open University, which was then in its second year of operation. That experience was a revelation that changed my life. I saw the future of higher education and I wanted to be part of it. In this short talk, I shall go back to basics. Others are more qualified than I to tell you about the role of artificial intelligence in higher education today. My title is simply Open Universities, Open to What? Why do we call ourselves open universities, and what does that mean for what we do? The history of distance education goes back many years. I'm sure that it had its beginnings here in India many centuries ago, but I will concentrate on the emergence of open universities, which occurred in Britain in the 1960s. I will pass over the fascinating record of the emergence of the Open University in the UK and leap straight to its formal creation by Royal Charter in July 1969, which also happened to be the week when man first landed on the moon. And that timing reinforced the notion that an open university is a very modern phenomenon. Presiding over the Open University's inaugural charter ceremony was its first chancellor, Lord Geoffrey Crowther, who was then the editor of The Economist newspaper. And I shall quote extracts from the extraordinary speech that he made on that occasion. He began, "This is the Open University. Many people have tried, with indifferent success, to define a university. I shall not add to their number, but we are the Open University, and it is fitting that I should try to outline what that means and what we are going to do. We are open first as to people, not for us, the carefully regulated escalation from one educational level to the next, by which the traditional universities establish their criteria for admission. We took it as axiomatic, said the Planning Committee, that no formal academic qualifications would be required for registration as a student. Anyone could try his or her hand, and only failure to progress adequately would be a bar to the continuation of studies. The first and most urgent task before us is to cater to the many thousands of people fully capable of a higher education, who, for one reason or another, do not get it, or do not get as much of it as they can turn to advantage, or as they discover sometimes too late that they need. Only in recent years have we come to realize how many people there are in this category and how large are the gaps in educational provision through which they can fall. The existing system, for all its expansion, misses and leaves aside a great unused reservoir of human talent and potential. Men and women drop through failures in the system, through disadvantages of their environment, through mistakes of their own judgment, through sheer bad luck. These are our primary material. To them, we offer a further opportunity, like the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the open door. But if this were all, we could hardly call ourselves a university. This is not simply an educational rescue mission, though that is our first task, and we do not decry it. But we also aim wider and higher. Wherever there is an unprovided need for higher education, supplementing the existing provision, there is our constituency. There is no limit on persons. We are open to places. This university has no cloisters, a word meaning closed. Hardly even shall we have a campus. By a very happy chance, our only local habitation will be in the new city of Milton Keynes. But that is only where the tip of our toe touches the ground. The rest of the university will be disembodied and airborne. From the start, it will flow all over the United Kingdom. But it is already clear that wherever the English language is spoken or understood, or used as a medium of study, and wherever there are men and women seeking to develop their individual potentialities beyond the limits of the local provision, there we can offer our help. There are no boundaries of space. We are open to methods. The original name was the University of the Air, and I am glad that it was abandoned, for even the air would be too confining. Already, the development of technology is marching on, and I predict that before long, broadcasting will only form a small part of the Open University's output. The world is caught in a communications revolution, the effects of which will go far beyond those of the Industrial Revolution of 2 centuries ago. Then, the great advance was the invention of machines to multiply the potency of men's muscles. Now, the great advance is the invention of machines to multiply the potency of men's minds. As the steam engine was to the first revolution, so the computer is to the second. It has been said that the addiction of conventional universities to the lecture room is a sign of its inability to adjust to the development of the printing press. That, of course, is unjust, but at least no such reproach will be levelled at the Open University in the communications revolution. Every new form of human communication will be examined to see how it can be used to raise and broaden the level of human understanding. There is no restriction on techniques. We are open finally as to ideas. There are two aspects of education, both necessary. One regards the human mind as a vessel of varying capacity into which is to be poured as much as it will hold of the knowledge and experience by which human society lives and moves. This is the Martha of education, and we shall have plenty of those tasks to perform. But the Mary regards the human mind rather as a fire which is to be set alight and blown with the divine afflatus. This also we take as our ambition. What a happy chance it is that we start this task in the very week when the universe has opened. The limits not only of explorable space, but of human understanding are infinitely wider than we have believed. There you have it, colleagues. I have quoted large parts of Crowther's historic speech simply because 55 years after he delivered it, I believe it should still inspire us in our work in open universities. He gave us aspirations against which to assess the many new technologies and methods that have emerged in the half-century since the UK Open University's inauguration. Crowther gave the Open University its slogan, strapline, or motto: open to people, open to places, open to methods, and open to ideas. How do our universities, how does Netaji Subhas Open University, how does UU measure up against these four criteria today? I shall spend my last few minutes addressing that question generally. And I encourage you in the days ahead to ask yourselves how your universities judges its own performance on these four opens. Here, I shall concentrate on open to people and open to ideas. 50 years of technological developments have made it easier for open universities, and indeed for all your universities, to be open to places. And I expect that NSOU's reach to people outside West Bengal and indeed outside India has increased in the 30 years since I visited you in Calcutta. I suspect that your teaching methods have diversified as well, and that some of you are already exploring the opportunities presented by artificial intelligence, even in this workshop. But are you more open to people? Is your student body becoming more diverse? Are students who come to you with weaker academic backgrounds being more successful than they used to be? Because our goal for students is not merely access to learning, but access to successful learning. Are you using new technologies and methods to give students access to success? I worry that as we focus on all the new wonders of technology, we can forget that the aim of creating open universities was to bring the joys and successes of learning to wider and wider sections of the population. Finally, are we open to ideas? There are worrying signs in today's world that intellectual freedoms are being curtailed. Some governments, even in countries that claim to uphold free speech are banning books and trying to gag some academics and journalists. What should our universities do about this? I suggest that we have a special responsibility to uphold truth and objectivity because we are public institutions that attract very large numbers of students. When he was asked what the most significant innovation of the British Open University was, its founding Vice-Chancellor, Walter Perry, replied that it was the course team. It was the use of a team, often quite a large team of academics and other specialists, to design the courses and prepare the materials. The vigorous debates within these teams were an important mechanism for ensuring that biased and partisan views were not presented in the courses. The UKOU course teams also checked that the photos and images presented in learning materials gave a representative portrayal of the populations they described. Because open universities can invest unusually large resources in course design and preparation, I suggest that they have a responsibility to move academic thinking forward and be pioneers in presenting new and challenging views. How does NSOU see itself in this regard? Do you follow other universities in the way that you present your courses, or are they sometimes inspired by you? I shall leave it there. Thank you for inviting me to talk to you. Please keep the Open University flag flying high by being true to your founding principle of openness. Thank you. Well, thank you. It's been a privilege to talk to you all, and I can see that this session has been a great success. So I congratulate all the organisers and participants, and I wish both your universities and all the participants' institutions great success in the years ahead. So I will leave you and start my day in Vancouver. Thank you very much.